Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan, and this is Speak Up. Thanks for tuning in. Today's topic is super practical. Think in English and improve your speaking. If you've ever felt stuck trying to find the right word while speaking, this might be the solution you need. We'll explore how to use English in your mind first, before you even say anything out loud. That way, speaking becomes faster and easier. I'll explain how to build this habit with small changes that fit into your daily routine. Stay with us, because this can change the way you learn forever.
Hey everyone, I'm Priya. I know how hard it can be when you want to speak, but the words just don't come. It's like your brain is working in two languages at the same time. But when I started thinking in English, just simple thoughts about my day, it helped me speak more naturally. No more long pauses or searching for words. In this episode, I'll share a few fun ways you can do the same. Even if you're shy or busy, these tips are perfect for you.
So let's start from the beginning. What does it really mean to think in English? It's simple. It means using English in your mind without translating from your native language first. Like when you look at your phone and say to yourself, "I need to call mom," instead of thinking it in Urdu, Hindi, or Bangla and then translating. Thinking in English is like talking to yourself, silently, in English. This habit helps you become faster and more natural when you speak. If you always translate first, you lose time and your words get stuck. Fluency needs flow, and flow comes when English is already in your head.
Yes, exactly. I used to translate everything before speaking. I would think in my own language first, then try to turn it into English. And by the time I found the right words, the moment was gone. Like once I was at a restaurant and wanted to order in English, but I got stuck thinking, what's the English word for tarka? It felt stressful. But once I started thinking in English for small things like I'm feeling hungry or I should get ready now, I noticed it got easier. I wasn't translating anymore. My brain slowly started staying in English and my speaking became much smoother.
That's such a real example, Priya. And I think many of our listeners have been in that same situation. When you train your brain to think in English, you're actually building a habit. Just like brushing your teeth, it becomes automatic. You start with small daily thoughts. Where are my keys? I need to go to the store. What should I wear today? These are simple, but they help a lot. And the more you do it, the faster you speak. Because there's no need to stop and convert your thoughts. That's the real goal of fluency, not being perfect, just being comfortable.
Right, and I love that you said it's a habit because that's how I changed too. At first it felt strange, like I was forcing it, but I kept going. I'd look around and name things in English: table, fan, glass. I'd even describe what I was doing in my mind, like I'm making tea or I'm writing a message. These small sentences trained my brain. I didn't need a partner or a classroom, just my own thoughts. And trust me, once you start thinking in English, your confidence grows. You speak faster, make fewer mistakes, and feel proud of yourself.
Now, let's talk about why most people still think in their native language, even when they really want to speak English. And honestly, it's not their fault. In school, English was usually taught like a subject, just like math or science. We memorized grammar rules, filled in blanks, and passed exams, but no one told us to use the language in real life. So, our brain never learned to think in English naturally. That habit of learning English from the outside stayed with us. It's no surprise that even now we think in our mother tongue and only switch to English when we have to speak.
That's so true, Ryan. I remember learning English like that, just studying to pass tests. We never used it in conversations, so it always felt like something extra, not something real. And another reason is fear. People worry about making mistakes, so they play it safe and think in their own language first. I used to feel scared too. Like, what if someone laughs if I say something wrong? That fear blocks your brain from trying. And of course, we're all more comfortable in our mother tongue. It's where we feel safe. But comfort doesn't lead to change. You need to gently push past it.
Exactly. The brain loves comfort, and it always chooses what's easy. So it goes back to the language we've used since childhood. But here's the thing. You can teach your brain a new path. Yes, you've had that habit for years, but habits can be broken. Thinking in English is not about being perfect. It's about getting used to it. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. In fact, making small mistakes while thinking or speaking in English is actually a good sign. It means you're trying. The more you try, the more natural it becomes.
And I really want to say this to everyone listening. It's not your fault if you still think in your native language. That's normal. We all grew up that way. But you can change it one step at a time. Start with easy things. Maybe look at your lunch and say, I'm eating rice. Or look outside and say, it's sunny today. No one is judging you. It's just your own mind. And once you stop fearing mistakes and start building this new habit, English won't feel like a foreign language anymore. It'll start feeling like a part of you.
All right, now let's talk about the real magic. How thinking in English actually helps your speaking, even if you don't have anyone to practice with. This is one of the best parts. When you think in English, you're training your brain all the time. It's like silent practice. You don't need a teacher or a partner. You're using your own thoughts as your learning space. And the more often you do it, the faster your brain gets at forming sentences. So when it's time to speak out loud, your words come more smoothly without that long pause or confusion.
Yes, and I've experienced this myself. Before, I used to wait for a chance to talk to someone in English, thinking that was the only way to improve. But once I started thinking in English on my own, things changed. I didn't feel stuck anymore. My brain was already practicing sentence building, even without speaking. I started noticing that when I did speak, I wasn't stopping as much to search for words. That flow started to come naturally just because my mind was already used to being in English mode during the day.
Exactly. It's all about training your brain to become comfortable with English. Think of it like exercise. If you walk every day, your legs get stronger. If you think in English every day, your speaking muscles, your brain, your vocabulary, your sentence building also get stronger. One big thing it helps with is fluency. Fluency means your words come without stress or delay. You don't need to stop and plan every sentence. Thinking in English builds that smooth flow that so many learners want. And the best part? You can do it anytime, anywhere, even while walking or waiting for the bus.
And another benefit is how it keeps your vocabulary fresh. When you think in English, you keep using the words you've learned. You don't forget them as easily. For example, if you recently learned the word appointment and you use it in your thoughts, like, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, it stays in your memory. You're not just learning a word, you're living it. That's how you build a strong vocabulary without flashcards or boring lists. The more you think in English, the more your brain holds on to useful words.
That's a great point. And along with vocabulary, thinking in English also helps you understand sentence structure and grammar better. You don't have to memorize grammar rules. Instead, your brain just gets used to how English sounds and works. Like, I am going, she is reading, they were playing. These patterns become part of your thinking. So when it's time to speak, you use them without thinking too hard. It's not forced, it becomes automatic. That's why this habit is so powerful. It helps you speak correctly just by thinking naturally.
Yes, and the best part? You don't even feel like you're studying. You're just living your day, but your brain is getting better at English all the time. It's like learning in the background. That's what makes this method so easy and stress-free. No pressure, no fear, just daily practice inside your mind. And soon, people start noticing, hey, you speak better now. But it's not magic. It's just the power of thinking in English. Once you start, you'll see the change for yourself.
All right, so now you might be thinking, how do I actually start thinking in English? The answer is, start small. And the easiest way is through everyday self-talk. Seriously, just talk to yourself in your mind. For example, when you wake up, say, I'm getting out of bed, or I need to brush my teeth. These tiny sentences may sound simple, but they're super powerful. Why? Because they're real. You're connecting English with your actual life, and that's how you make it stick.
Yes, Ryan. I started exactly like that. I'd say things in my head like, where's my phone? Or, I'm making tea now. These were things I was actually doing, so it didn't feel like a lesson. It just felt natural. And the best part? No pressure. No one's watching. You're just practicing in your own world. It's like free training for your brain, and you can do it while doing housework, walking, or even while looking in the mirror. Just keep it real and simple.
Right. And another tip is, keep your sentences short. 2 to 3 words or 2 short sentences are enough. Like, I am cooking. It smells good. Or I am late. I need to hurry. That's it. You don't have to say long, complicated things. In fact, keeping it simple helps your brain relax and remember more. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're building a habit. And trust me, even these small lines help a lot with fluency.
Exactly, and something that helped me a lot was sticking to the present tense at first. Like, I am washing dishes, or I'm going to work. The present tense is the easiest to start with because it matches what's happening right now. You don't need to worry about grammar rules or past and future tenses in the beginning. Just describe what you're doing as it's happening. It trains your brain to stay active in English without stress.
That's such a good point, Priya. When you focus on what's happening in the moment, you stop overthinking, and your brain gets faster at connecting English with your actions. That's exactly what you want. The goal here isn't perfection, it's progress. You're learning to live in English, one little moment at a time. Even if you just say 5 short lines in English each day, it adds up. That's how habits grow, from small daily practice.
Totally. And the cool part is, once you start doing this self-talk regularly, your confidence grows without you even noticing. One day, someone asks you a question in English, and you answer without panicking. Why? Because you've already said those kinds of sentences to yourself many times. Your brain is ready. It's all about practice, but in a way that fits into your real life. No books, no pressure. Just you and your thoughts in English.
Now that you're getting comfortable with self-talk, let's take it one step further. Use visual thinking to stay in English mode. What does that mean? Basically, when you look at something, try to name it in English, like chair, window, phone. It's simple but super effective. This keeps your brain in English without even speaking. So if you're brushing your hair, don't think brush kar raha hoon. Just picture it as, I'm brushing my hair. No translation, just English pictures in your mind.
Yes, and this really helped me stop that habit of always translating. At first, I used to think in my language and then try to turn it into English, but that takes too long. So I started just seeing things and naming them. Like, if I saw my bag, I'd think, my bag is on the table. That small sentence came directly without thinking of the Urdu or Hindi word first. When you see something and say it in English, either silently or out loud, it becomes more automatic over time.
Exactly. This is where your brain starts to make direct connections. You see clothes. Your brain says clothes. You're doing laundry. You think, I'm washing clothes. Not kapre dona. Not kapre wash kar raha hoon. Just straight English. That's visual thinking. You're linking what you see and do with English words and sentences. And once your brain learns this pattern, it starts to work in English naturally, without you forcing it.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. Just pick a few things around you every day, your bed, your cup, your keys, and say something small about them in English. My cup is empty. Where are my keys? I'm sitting on the bed. These are real-life phrases. The more you use them, the more they stay in your mind. And since you're seeing the object while thinking in English, your memory gets stronger. That's how language sticks, through your senses and daily life.
Right. And here's a bonus tip. Even if you're not doing the action, you can still imagine it. Like, if you see a kitchen sponge, imagine saying, I use this to wash dishes. Or when you see your shoes, think, I wear these to work. This mental picture plus English sentence combo is powerful. It's like building a world in your head where everything is connected to English. And that's how fluency grows, through these small, real-world links.
Absolutely. When you build these small habits, it becomes normal for your brain to stay in English mode. Like, you don't have to force it anymore. It just becomes part of how you think. And remember, it's okay to start slow. Even just 5 or 10 objects a day with short thoughts or sentences can make a big difference. The goal isn't speed, it's consistency. A little bit every day adds up to a big result over time.
Okay, now let's move to something that really boosts confidence: silent conversations. This means you imagine talking to someone in your head. No speaking out loud, no pressure, just you and your thoughts. For example, imagine a friend asks, "How was your day?" You answer in your mind, "It was great. I went to the market and bought some fruits." This kind of practice helps your brain get used to real conversation flow, even if you're not speaking with anyone.
Yes, Ryan. I used to do this a lot when I was alone or walking somewhere. I would imagine a situation like meeting an old friend. In my mind, I'd ask, "Hey, how are you?" and answer, "I'm good, just a bit tired." These silent chats helped me prepare for real conversations. The best part? You don't feel shy or scared of making mistakes. You're in control and you can go as slow or fast as you want. It builds fluency without pressure.
That's the key. No pressure. Silent conversations are like warm-up exercises for your brain. You don't need to worry about grammar or finding the perfect word. Just keep the conversation going. You can imagine talking to your boss, your teacher, a friend, or even a shopkeeper. Ask simple questions like, "What do you need?" or "Can I help you?" and then answer them in your head. The more you do it, the more natural English starts to feel.
And the cool part is, you can do it anywhere. On a bus, in the kitchen, while waiting in line. Just think in English. Let's say you're waiting for tea to boil. Use that time. Imagine someone asks, "What are you doing?" And you think, "I'm making tea. I like it strong." Even simple lines like that help a lot. And over time, your brain becomes quicker at forming responses. That's the goal. Not perfect grammar, but smooth thinking.
Exactly. This kind of thinking also helps you prepare for real-life situations. If you've already practiced answers in your head, you feel more ready when someone actually asks you. Like if you've silently practiced saying, "I'm learning English," or "I work in a school." Then when you say it for real, it comes out more naturally. It's like mental rehearsal and it really works. So don't wait for a partner. Be your own speaking partner.
That's so true. And remember, it's okay if your English isn't perfect. Mistakes are part of the process. What matters is that you're thinking in English, keeping the flow, and not switching back to your native language. That's real progress. So next time you're walking or just sitting quietly, start a little conversation in your head. It might feel funny at first, but it's one of the best ways to train your brain for real speaking.
Now let's talk about a moment that everyone faces. What to do when you don't know the right English word. First of all, don't stop. Keep going. Use easy words or try to describe the thing. Like, if you forget the word microwave, just say, "The box that heats food." This small trick is powerful. It keeps your brain working in English without switching back to your native language. And over time, the correct word will come naturally.
Yes, Ryan. I still do this sometimes. If I forget a word, I describe it using simple English. One day I forgot the word ladder. So I said, "The thing you climb to reach high places." The person understood, and I didn't feel stuck. That's the goal. Keep the conversation going. Don't freeze or panic. Your brain learns better when you keep moving forward, even with basic words. It's all about training your mind to stay in English mode.
And honestly, this is what native speakers do too. Even fluent people sometimes forget a word, so they explain it in other ways. So don't feel bad or shy. If you don't know the word thermometer, just say, "The thing that checks temperature." It works. And doing this actually improves your vocabulary because your brain starts to guess the meaning and build word connections. It's all part of becoming a confident English thinker.
Exactly. And when you use simple English to explain something, you're also building communication skills. You're learning how to be clear, how to describe, and how to stay in the language, which is a big win. For example, if I forget the word remote, I might say, "The small thing to change channels on TV." It might not be perfect, but it works. The more you do this, the easier it gets to stay in English, even during small struggles.
And here's a bonus idea. When you describe something and later learn the correct word, it sticks better. You remember it more clearly because your brain worked harder to understand it. So it's okay to say, "The place where you get medicine," until you remember pharmacy. That effort becomes memory. So never think, I can't speak English because I don't know all the words. You don't need to know everything. You just need to keep thinking in English.
Totally. And just think of it as a game. If you don't know a word, challenge yourself to explain it in English, like a puzzle. It keeps your brain sharp and creative. And most importantly, it helps you speak without breaking your flow. That's what fluency is. Not perfection, but progress. So stay in English, even if it's simple English. That habit will take you much further than you think.
Finally, let's talk about how to make thinking in English a daily habit. Because without daily practice, it's easy to forget everything. One great way is to set 3 fixed moments in your day. For example, in the morning while getting ready, in the afternoon during lunch, and at night before going to sleep. In these moments, just speak to yourself in English, even if it's just simple lines like, "I'm brushing my hair," or "The food smells good."
Yes, those fixed times really help. Your brain starts to expect it, just like brushing your teeth. And here's another tip. Keep a small English diary. Don't write a full page, just 2 or 3 lines, like, "Today I cleaned my room. I also talked to my cousin." That's it. It doesn't need to be perfect. You're not writing for a test. You're writing for your own practice. And this helps your thoughts slowly move into English without stress.
Exactly. The secret isn't perfection, it's consistency. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. When you keep showing up, your brain gets stronger at staying in English. So when you're eating lunch, just think, "I like this food," or "This is spicy." At night, try to recall your day in English. "I went to the market, then came home." These little steps might feel small, but they build a big change over time.
And trust me, once it becomes a habit, you'll start noticing improvements without even trying hard. Your sentences will come faster, and you'll start using better words naturally. I remember how hard it was in the beginning, but once I started doing it daily, it became part of my thinking. Some days I even dream in English now. So just make it simple and regular. Every day, a little English in your thoughts.
That's the goal. Turn English into a part of your daily life, not just a subject you study. When you do that, your speaking becomes smoother, your confidence grows, and your fear disappears. So pick your 3 moments, start your diary, and remember, you don't need big results fast. You need small steps every day. That's how fluency comes.
Well said, Ryan. And to everyone listening, don't give up. You're already on the right path just by being here and learning with us. Thinking in English may feel strange at first, but it gets easier and more natural with practice. So speak to yourself, make mistakes, have fun with it, and keep going. We're cheering for you every step of the way.